This is the Education Act of Plyer versus Doe of 1982, created by Kari. Enjoy! The Plyer versus Doe Supreme Court case started boiling up in the state of Texas in the 1970s due to the high influx of Mexican immigration coming into the state. In 1975, Texas legislature revised the state of Texas to withhold state funding to school districts who are educating students not legally admitted into the United States. This revision also allowed schools to deny the enrollment of children not legally admitted to the country. The state also tried to charge illegal aliens an annual tuition fee of $1,000 because they did not pay taxes. Texas school districts did not want to have their funding cut. Therefore, schools were cutting out and turning away students who could not provide legal documentation. This is an unfair advantage that was happening in the state of Texas as it was driving the communities apart, and children of Hispanic backgrounds were falling farther and farther behind. This is unfair, and because of this, many things started to take into action. A class action suit was filed in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Texas in September 1977. This is where Plyer versus Doe originated and went all the way up to the Supreme Court. As segregation was happening in the state of Texas, this was also violating the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which says in part, no state shall deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. The Equal Protection Clause protects all people within the United States border, even if they cannot provide proof of legal documentation. Therefore, this case was supported by this document and held all the way up through the Supreme Court. Given the 14th Amendment and the Equal Protection Clause, the courts determined that there was no benefit to keeping children out of education, as it created further socioeconomic separation and enforced poverty. The court found that the defendants were merely keeping the children of illegal citizens out of the school simply for financial reasons, and this would in long term hurt our society. Plyer versus Doe Education Act allowed, number one, according to Ovando, that schools are prohibited from denying undocumented students admission to school. Number two, requiring students or parents to disclose or document their immigration status. And three, requiring social security numbers of students. Ovando here was quoting Carrera from 1989. In addition to illegal immigrants having to provide these legal documentations that they are legal citizens, Plyer versus Doe really opens doors to all students of diverse backgrounds, and this supports the ELL community in a major way, allowing them access to an education. Without this, doors would be closed, education gaps and socioeconomic gaps would be increased, and there would be an unfair advantage. Children should not be given a shut door immediately in their first step of life. This was really important in the development of human rights and to move in the correct direction in the education field. Thanks to Plyer versus Doe, children of all backgrounds now have access to education, public education. This act helps to narrow the socioeconomic gap of ELLs in our society, and they all have the right to an education. This act is important outside of the classroom as it provides equal protection under the U.S. Constitution. Without this act being passed, there would be extreme deficits in the lack of education of immigrants coming to the country. How is somebody supposed to get ahead when they're already being denied and shut down from the start? This is unfair, and also children have no choice when their parents come here. So they're looking for a better future, and why not give it to them? Plyer versus Doe is an extremely important case in basic human rights as well. It was really great researching this project, as I didn't even know of it, and have really learned a lot, and the importance of a sound of education to close that gap between white advantage and also students with a diverse background. So this is a huge court case won, and goes down in the history books as being very beneficial. Thank you for watching and listening.